Hey, I'm Riggers, thanks for dropping in. Today I just want to have a quick video talking about my initial thoughts on the new remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, which is called Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. I've never played any of the proper full-length Metal Gear Solid games before. 9 years ago, I think, played... No, it would have been just under 10 years ago. I believe it was December 2015. Played through the short prologue game, Ground Zeroes, and finished that in about 4 hours because, it's very short. I have very vague memories of it apart from like the outro song and just glimpses of some basic story beats and some plot elements. So I don't really remember a great deal about it. So I was going into this completely blind, more or less, not really knowing much about the franchise, not remembering what little I already knew about the franchise. So I decided to dive straight into this and give it a chance. And my thoughts on it so far are thusly. So it's quite story heavy, which is certainly my sort of thing. You've got the first couple hours, a lot of long, maybe 10, 15, maybe longer minute cutscene sequences, and smaller chunks of gameplay in between. Because the game's really building up the world and the characters and what's going on. A lot of world building. But it's all very cinematic, it's all very enjoyable. So it's a bit of a slow start in terms of the gameplay. But all the characters are really interesting, the story's interesting, the world building, the animations, the cutscenes. Everything's really... Because this is, from my perspective, I don't really know about these worlds. I'm not familiar with these characters. But it's drawn me in straight away. So I find it very compelling, very engrossing narratively. And in terms of the gameplay, I'm very much drawn into that as well. Stealth games aren't something I'm very well versed in. So this has been a change of pace for me. But I'm really enjoying the getting down in the grass and sneaking around, taking down enemies one at a time. There was one mission where you're in this abandoned building and I was crawling underneath and taking out one enemy, then running away and taking out another one and crawling back underneath the foundations of the building, and that was really cool. I like just how in-depth all the core mechanics go, and of course this speaks true for the original game as well. I know this is pretty much a remake of that game from 2004, I believe it was, the original version. But all the mechanics of tending to your wounds and applying different camouflage and paints and all these other aspects and tuning into the radio to contact different people, it's really... I haven't seen these features or mechanics in other games before, and they really make you feel like you're killing all these different creatures to eat food, to survive, to get your stamina. It makes it feel like a survival experience. It makes it feel like you're actually, I guess, an agent planted in this situation. Makes it feel like you have to survive by stitching up your own wounds and doing those other things and maintaining your health. It's really just very engrossing, really cool game. And from someone who's, until yesterday, not really had much experience with the franchise at all, apart from a brief prologue game 10 years ago, going into this more or less blind and fresh, not knowing anything about this story or the franchise overall, I'm immediately very much swept up in the narrative and the gameplay. The boss fights are batshit but really cool as well. I'm not going to go into too much detail, so I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'll be excited to see what the original game was like once I finish with this one, and normally I am very much averse to going for a remake over an original, just because sometimes I do prefer to see from a historical aspect what the original one was like, but at the same time there's nothing to stop me going back to the original as well as this has just been a really nice, and of course exactly what it was designed for. It's done its job. It's a perfect jumping on point for new fans. There's not been like a main Metal Gear Solid release since 2015's The Phantom Pain, apart from the ports and remaster compilation that came out 2 years ago, the Master Collection Volume 1, and there was that zombie thing that you had to pay for save data on, which I'm sure most people ignored. I think it's a fantastic game so far. Like I say, stealth things, not really my sort of bag usually. This franchise, not really well versed in it, but there's just something about all these different mechanics and navigating around explosive traps and climbing trees to get over electric fences and just exploring through the jungle and adapting your camouflage to stay hidden, and it's so compelling, it's so good. The voice acting is brilliant. It's got like a slight hamminess to it in places, but it works for the overall slight tongue-in-cheek nature sometimes of the cutscenes and the overly flamboyantness of like the Japanesey taste in terms of character representation and just the overall tone of the story. It's very political, it's very grounded, but I mean you've also got a guy who's attacking you with killer bees who you can just summon, and it's kind of similar to the Yakuza games, I guess, and you've got the grounded sort of, you know, serious drama tones, but then you've also got just crazy Japanese quirkiness. So it's a brilliant clusterfuck of ideas, and but in ways that works. It's got, you know, different tones and things that work. But yeah, so that's just everything I can think of off the top of my head. I'm only about 4 hours in so far, but I'm really enjoying the game. I'm looking forward to finishing this game. I'll almost certainly be doing subsequent playthroughs, and I'm looking forward to branching off and continuing the rest of the franchise. I will definitely be picking up the Master Collection Volume 1, and then beyond that I'll just see how I get on with that and what other bits and pieces I pick up. But that's all for today's video. If you've picked up the new remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, let me know how you find it below. Let me know what other games in the franchise you've played, or what game you'd recommend next from me playing this, not just in this series but other games that are stealthy or have maybe similar gameplay. But for now, thank you for watching, and take care.